We're going to make some Italian cookies. They're really called marriage cookies. It's sort of like a spice cookie as well as a nut cookie. So let's get started. First, you're going to start off with a large bowl, and in that large bowl you're going to put 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and you do want to sift it before you put it in your bowl. So 1 3/4. The next thing that you're going to put in is actually a 1/2 cup of solid vegetable shortening. Now, if you don't want to use the shortening, you can go ahead and use 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter that is softened if you prefer not to use the shortening. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to combine the flour and the shortening together. Now, I know that's not traditional in a cookie recipe. We're usually always creaming the sugar and butter, but this particular recipe you do want to combine the shortening with the flour. And you just want to bring it together with your hand mixer, or you could use your stand till it becomes kind of crumbly in your bowl. And it will look like this. The next thing that you're going to put in your bowl is granulated sugar, and you're going to need 3/4 of a cup of that. And the same thing, you're just going to combine it in this dry, crumbly mixture. Now, once you do that, you're going to put in nutmeg, and you're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. You're also going to be putting in a teaspoon of cinnamon into that. And you're going to be putting in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of baking soda. That was 3/4 of a teaspoon of soda. And you're also going to be putting in a 1/4 cup of the baking unsweetened cocoa. So baking cocoa. That was a 1/4 of that. And then you're just going to combine this. It'll still be a dry, crumbly mixture. And the last thing that you're going to put in is milk, and you're going to need a 1/2 cup of milk. So we'll put that in, a 1/2 cup of milk. I forgot to put that on my countertop. Sorry about that. Then a 1/2 cup of milk, and just on low, start to bring the cookie dough together. And that'll probably take you less than a minute or so. This is a really quick recipe. Now, once you do that, then you're going to need a 1/4 cup of coarsely chopped walnuts, or whatever type of nut that you prefer, and just combine that into your cookie dough. I'm going to raise my speed to bring all those nuts into the cookie dough. And I'll show you what it looks like so far. Now, with my clean hands, I'm just going to bring it together to show you what it looks like. Now, you're going to be able to get anywhere from 3 to 3.5 dozen of cookies out of this. What you're going to need is a lightly greased cookie sheet or pan, And you're going to be baking these cookies at 350 degrees for anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. What I like to do is just put out, again, a teaspoon of dough, an inch apart. If you prefer to use a teaspoon, you can go ahead and do that. And just round it off a little bit before you place it down on your cookie tray. And we'll put one more down, again at 350, anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. And then, of course, put them on a cooling rack once they come out of your oven. Now, you're going to need a frosting for that. I'm just going to put this cookie dough aside for the moment. And I want to step back just a little bit to show you what they look like once that they're baked. They come out looking like this. They're a really lightweight chocolate, sort of a spice cookie, really. They come out a beautiful golden brown on the bottom. Now, they do need a bit of an icing. So to make the icing, it really is also another really quick recipe. You're going to start off by using 1.5 cups of your powdered sugar, and you're going to use 2.5 tablespoons of milk, or if you prefer, heavy cream. And the last thing that you're going to, well, 2 other things, I'm sorry, that you're going to put in is a teaspoon of unsalted butter that's been softened. Now, if you don't want to use butter, you can go ahead and use margarine if you prefer that. And now the last ingredient is a teaspoon of rum extract. That was 1 teaspoon of rum extract. And just bring it together to form an icing. And it looks like I could use just a little bit more milk. So I'll put that in quickly. You want to get all the lumps of the sugar out. There we go. Get that butter beaten in there. Now, if you want the glaze a little thinner than this, use a little bit more milk or heavy cream. And then just take your baked, cooled cookies and then just drop the tops into the glaze. Take the excess off your bowl and then lay them on a cooling rack till they dry. And we'll do one more. These cookies are even great without the icing, but the rum extract really adds extra flavor to these cookies. And when they come out, they will look like this. So there you have it. You have Italian marriage cookies. Give this recipe a try. I hope you like this one. If you do, let me hear from you. Leave a comment. I'm going to break one in half just to show you how moist the cookie is on the inside. It's really between not quite a soft but not really a crispy cookie, right in about the middle of the texture. And there you have it. I hope you like this one. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.